Hello guys, welcome back. Today is another video of Minecraft Block Wars. It's been a massive thing. Massive journey through Minecraft Block Wars. And the first nation to start growing is the moss. They haven't grown in a while, but they have started to grow again. They will not grow that much, but they'll grow a decent amount, so they're still kind of scared after losing so much land earlier. And the Lapis will kind of rebuild this area. But they will decide not to grow their territory, because they just fought a war. It's kind of not good for your stability to attack a nation and then build your territory even more. And so, of course, the Lapis start rebuilding their forces. And the moss decide to destroy their trade route. Once and for all. And so it's finally gone. And the redstone, of course, decide to grow a little bit. They decide to boost their military power as well. They are a decently powerful nation now. They've gained lots of strength. But they will be growing even more towards the Lapis. Taking a decent amount of territory. And this is kind of starting to scare the Lapis. They are worried about how the Redstone Empire is expanding towards them. And so that's why they built up their military. Well, they want to repair their military, but they also wanted to be prepared for the redstone and to make the redstone stop growing closer to them. I'm also probably going to destroy this. By the way, guys, if you don't know what everything means, just check out the first video. The first video of Block Wars. If you want to learn what everything means. Of course, you probably understand the different color blocks are soldiers and kings. Destroy all this now that it's not 2 nations anymore. I'm not going to destroy this because I don't need to. So, the Lapis are kind of getting a little worried. So, they decide to build their walls a little bit higher. At least the walls that face here. I'm gonna go back to the reds. They're just gonna build these walls up higher, nothing else, but the reds are going to continue building this area up a little bit. And of course the Redstone's a very powerful nation. They're starting to become stronger than what the Reds had been. They're still not stronger, but they're getting very close, since the Red Empire had been very good with trade. They are not. The Red Empire also had that area, so that would definitely add more territory. And by the way, guys, let me know what your favorite nation is. If you liked the Lapis, if you liked the Blues, if you liked the Diamond, if you liked the Red Empire or the Reds, if you liked the Moss. So the Diamond aren't gonna grow this episode at all because they don't want to. They're kind of damaged. Oh wait, I need to add houses to the Reds. But the stuff that's going on with the Lapis and the Reds or Redstone is kind of scaring the Diamond. So they are going to do a tad bit of military growth. Just a tad boost, and they decide to send over one soldier. They decide to send over 3 soldiers to make sure to hold this line, and to basically tell the redstone that they are not going to be allowing the redstone to do anything to grow towards them. Now the obsidian do decide to get a decent amount of land. They decide to get this. Not much land, but it's a growth for them, no matter what. And then a new nation is created. They will be pretty weak, and, well, weak in terms of, like, population, but they're going to be decently powerful in military. Well, not powerful in military, but they're going to have good soldiers. That's what I meant. Kind of like the obsidian. But they are going to be called the Bedrock. And so they're going to be decently weak in terms of population, but they're going to be the weakest in population and in military size, but they're going to be the strongest per soldier in military. So slight increase in nation size or nation numbers. The redstone are going to continue growing over here. And more people are going to come over here because the redstone are kind of scared about war. They also add a little area over here. But more people are coming over here because of war, the threat of it. They're just going to kind of settle in large land areas. This is actually quite a big boost in population for the redstone, since they weren't really expecting people to come over here. So now that's a decent amount of population. Of course, this provides some troops. And so the Redstone are getting prepared for war. They are, of course, very scared that war could be upon them. They grow a tad bit military. But yeah, so the Redstone are preparing for war. They definitely know they cannot win a war. The Lapis and the Diamond would easily overpower them. But the Obsidian are preparing for war. They definitely know that they are capable of winning a war, and they want to conquer the Diamond. They also want to take revenge upon the Moss, but they know they can't do that yet. And the Moss decide to grow their mountain a little bit more for their mountain range. And so they move a lot of land from faraway areas to help build the range. And of course, this does kind of get a little close to the Obsidian, but they don't really care that it's close. They just want to kind of get the Obsidian away from them. And they get a slightly larger military so they can, the Moss do, they get a slightly larger military so they can kind of just block off the Obsidian from reaching them. This is a very bold move because the Obsidian, of course, could easily overpower them, and also the Moss have very low stability, but thankfully there's no rebellion. And so the Obsidian are very happy. They have grown a decent, not that much, but they've grown a tad bit this episode. And the Lapis have put some more houses down. They haven't grown at all, but that's okay. The Redstone got some more territory, but they're getting very nervous for war. And the Diamond have just made a slightly larger military and sent troops out to prepare for war. And then there was the Bedrock, which were made, and It's all pretty interesting. Not any clashes yet. But the Redstone suddenly decide to call forward 4 troops and they decide to send them right here. And they send a general with these troops. And then they call forward for more troops to get to the front line. And then 4 more troops. And they're sending quite a lot of troops forward. They decide to call even more. And this is threatening all-out war. And the Bedrock are in a very bad position because they're right in the middle. Not right in the middle, but they're kind of in the middle of these 2 powers. And of course, there's Lapis troops that could easily charge forward and hit their territory. So they are quite scared, especially since they don't want to become a puppet of any nation that wins the war, because they know they can immediately be attacked. And of course, the Lapis have shown some power by making this wall a lot stronger, a lot taller. But the Redstone also build upon their territory. Building kind of a super castle. Or not castle, tower. And they decide to build a wall around it. This is so that if their fences get broken, they can still hold out a decent power area. They also have barracks around the castle. And that probably reminds you of something. If you haven't watched some of the earlier episodes, then you wouldn't know of it. But this reminds you, if you have watched the earlier episodes, of the Holy Netherrack Church, and how they had the palace, and with barracks outside of it. And this is all just defensive wall for the war. In case if they start to lose it, they can always retreat to this wall, and then they'll instantly have an area to fight. They actually decide to kind of learn from the Lapis, which is to build up their wall. In case if they do start to lose the war. And this is basically all there will be for this episode. War is preparing to happen. Of course, there was quite a bit of war in the last few episodes, but that wasn't much of war. It was much of war, but we kind of knew who would win in the last few episodes. The Moss would definitely lose. But now it's the Redstone versus the Lapis and the Diamond. And then there's a neutral power, which is the Bedrock. And then you can kind of say it's the Lapis versus the Red. And then the Obsidian versus the Diamond. And you may be wondering, why would I say Obsidian versus Diamond? Well, that is because the Obsidian decide to send a soldier over to the Reds, or Redstone, well, 2 soldiers, to show that they want them to win the war. That is all there's going to be for this episode. I know I was just saying that, but that is finally all there's going to be for the episode. I just needed to make, final touches. And so it's the Redstone Empire pushing up against the Lapis Empire, with the Diamond kind of fighting in a little bit against the Redstone as well, but the Obsidian are going to be fighting against the Diamond, and the Obsidian are going to be pushing against the Lapis a little bit. And then we have the Bedrock, which are neutral. If either side attacks them, they'll fight and defend. And then there's the Moss, which are also kind of neutral, but they're not going to be fighting at all in this war because, well, why would they? They built up the mountain range for defense. They did not build that for offense. So this is really all there's going to be for this episode, but it's an amazing episode. Decent amount happened. The Lapis did not grow their territory at all. The Redstone built quite a bit, and some other things happened, but yeah, so make sure to like the video and subscribe, guys, and bye!